Rome's story begins in myth, a tapestry woven with threads of heroism, betrayal, and the supernatural. It's a story that has captivated imaginations for centuries, a foundation upon which one of the greatest empires in history would rise. At the heart of this myth are the twins Romulus and Remus, figures shrouded in legend and destined for greatness. Their story is not just a tale of two brothers, but a reflection of the very essence of Rome itself: ambition, conflict, and ultimately, triumph. These twins were no ordinary children. They were descendants of the Trojan hero Aeneas, a figure of immense importance in Roman mythology, and sons of Mars, the formidable god of war. This divine lineage imbued them with a destiny that would shape the course of history. Their bloodline connected them to both the glory of Troy and the might of the Roman war machine. Their lives began in peril, cast into the Tiber River by a fearful king who saw them as a threat to his power. Their fate seemed sealed. The river, a symbol of both life and death, became the stage for their miraculous survival. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. The infants were saved by divine intervention, a testament to their extraordinary destiny. The gods themselves seemed to be watching over them, ensuring their survival against all odds. Abandoned and vulnerable, they were discovered by a she-wolf, who, in a remarkable act of maternal instinct, nursed them at the Palatine Hill. This iconic image of the she-wolf nurturing the twins became a powerful symbol of Rome's origins, representing the city's strength, resilience, and connection to the natural world. Their unlikely upbringing continued when a shepherd discovered them and raised them as his own. This humble beginning, far removed from the palaces and power struggles of kings, instilled in them a sense of connection to the land and its people. As adults, their true destiny began to unfold. They overthrew the tyrant Amulius, the very man who had ordered their deaths, demonstrating their courage and their commitment to justice. In a triumphant act of retribution, they restored their grandfather to the throne, reclaiming their rightful place in the lineage of kings. This act solidified their position as heroes and paved the way for their next great endeavor. Driven by ambition and a desire to create their own legacy, the brothers set out to found a new city, a city that would one day become the center of the world. This marked the beginning of a new chapter, not just for them, but for the entire course of Western civilization. However, their shared vision soon fractured. A dispute over the city's location, a seemingly minor disagreement, escalated into a bitter rivalry that ultimately led to tragedy. The seeds of conflict, it seemed, were sown deep within their shared destiny. Romulus, with his keen strategic mind, favored the Palatine Hill, recognizing its natural defenses and its commanding view of the surrounding landscape. Remus, on the other hand, preferred the Aventine, perhaps drawn to its proximity to the Tiber River and its potential for trade and commerce. To resolve their impasse, they turned to augury, seeking guidance from the gods through the observation of birds. But even the divine realm could not bridge the divide between the brothers. Augury failed to resolve the conflict, deepening the tension and fueling their animosity. In the ensuing quarrel, fueled by ambition and pride, Romulus killed Remus, a fratricidal act that would forever stain the founding of Rome. This tragic event serves as a stark reminder of the destructive power of conflict and the high cost of ambition. With a chilling declaration, Romulus proclaimed, "So perish all who cross my walls," a warning to any who would challenge his authority or threaten his city. And so, on April 21, 753 BCE, a date etched in the annals of history, Romulus founded Rome, a city destined for greatness, but forever marked by the blood of his brother. Its origins, steeped in myth and violence, were forever marked by fraternal bloodshed, a constant reminder of the inherent tensions that would shape its future. The city's mythic birth, a blend of divine intervention, human ambition, and tragic conflict, set the tone for a history shaped by ambition, violence, and destiny, a history that would resonate through the ages. The Seven Hills of Rome, once the site of a deadly dispute, would soon become the heart of a growing power, a testament to the city's ability to overcome adversity and rise to greatness. From humble beginnings, a small settlement on the banks of the Tiber, Rome's story was already larger than life, a testament to the power of myth and the enduring human spirit. The legend of Romulus and Remus, a tale of brotherhood, betrayal, and the founding of a city, became a symbol of Rome's resilience and divine favor, a constant reminder of the city's extraordinary origins and its unwavering belief in its own destiny. And so, the Eternal City was born, a city that would endure for centuries, leaving an indelible mark on the world. Out of conflict, survival, and the will to endure, a legacy that continues to inspire and captivate us to this day. Romulus, the legendary founder, ruled a city born from ambition and necessity. His early Rome was a haven for outcasts and exiles, a melting pot of individuals seeking a new beginning far from their past lives. This diverse population found common ground, forging unity through necessity and shared aspirations. They began building not just a city but a society. The infamous abduction of the Sabine women, a desperate act to secure the city's future, inevitably led to war. It was a brutal conflict, a clash of cultures and wills. Yet, from the ashes of war, rose an unexpected alliance, ultimately leading to the merging of peoples and traditions. This union fueled the city's first expansion, both in territory and in its burgeoning identity. Rome was growing, evolving, and learning from every challenge. Rome's early kings, a succession of leaders who shaped the city's destiny, were both Latin, representing the local tribes and traditions, and Etruscan, hailing from the sophisticated civilization to the north, bringing with them advanced knowledge and skills. Together, they shaped its institutions, laying the groundwork for Roman law and governance, and transformed the landscape with ambitious building projects. Etruscan rulers like Tarquinius Priscus, a visionary leader, and Tarquin the Proud, whose reign would ultimately lead to the end of the monarchy, transformed Rome with remarkable engineering feats, aqueducts, roads, and public works that showcased Roman ingenuity. They developed the Forum, the heart of Roman political and social life, the Circus Maximus, a grand arena for chariot races and public spectacles, and great temples dedicated to the gods and goddesses who watched over the city. But tyranny, in the end, bred resistance. The people grew weary of unchecked power and injustice. The rape of Lucretia, a noblewoman whose tragic fate became a symbol of Roman virtue, by the king's son Sextus Tarquinius, was the final spark that ignited the flames of rebellion. It sparked a revolt, a widespread uprising against the oppressive rule of the Tarquins. In 509 BCE, a pivotal year in Roman history, Romans expelled the Tarquins, banishing the royal family from the city forever. They took an oath, vowing never again to be ruled by a king, forever rejecting the absolute power of monarchy. The monarchy ended, its legacy forever tarnished by the tyranny of its final rulers, and the Republic was born. A new era dawned, filled with both promise and uncertainty. It was a government by and for the people, or at least for a select group of citizens, laying the foundation for a complex system of governance. Rome's foundation was now set for greatness, its destiny intertwined with the ideals of liberty and self-governance. This foundation was built on both legend, the captivating tales of Romulus and Remus, and hard-won change, the struggles and sacrifices that shaped the character of the Roman people. The Republic emerged as a radical departure from the monarchies that preceded it. It replaced kings who ruled by hereditary right, with a system predicated on civic participation, at least in theory. The Roman Republic was structured with elected magistrates and a powerful Senate. These magistrates, chosen by the citizens, were responsible for the day-to-day administration of the state, while the Senate, composed of Rome's wealthiest and most experienced citizens, advised the magistrates and controlled public finances. At the apex of this system stood two consuls, who shared supreme executive authority. Their terms were deliberately limited to a single year. This was a crucial safeguard designed to prevent any one individual from accumulating excessive power and potentially devolving into tyranny, a constant concern for the Romans. Yet Roman society was far from egalitarian and was sharply divided. The patricians, the aristocratic families of Rome, held a disproportionate amount of power and influence, dominating the Senate and many key magistracies. Meanwhile, the plebeians, the common people of Rome, struggled for basic rights and representation within the political system. This disparity led to the conflict of the orders, a prolonged period of social and political unrest in which the plebeians demanded equality and a greater voice in government. They employed various tactics, including mass protests and even secessions from the city, to exert leverage on the patrician elite. Over generations of struggle, they gradually won significant concessions, including the establishment of tribunes with the power to veto actions of the Senate and magistrates. Perhaps most importantly, they secured the codification of the 12 Tables, Rome's first written laws, which aimed to provide a degree of legal certainty and protect plebeian rights. Eventually, plebeians gained the right to hold high office, including the consulship, breaking the patrician monopoly on power. Furthermore, the decisions of their assembly, the Concilium Plebis, gradually gained the force of law, further empowering the plebeian class. This protracted internal struggle, though often turbulent, ultimately forged a more inclusive and resilient republic, capable of adapting to changing circumstances. Meanwhile, even as these internal conflicts played out, Rome expanded relentlessly, driven by a combination of ambition, military prowess, and a thirst for resources. They systematically conquered the Italian peninsula, relying on their highly disciplined legions and a sophisticated system of strategic alliances with other Italian cities and tribes. Crucially, conquered peoples were often granted varying degrees of Roman citizenship, a shrewd policy that fostered loyalty and integrated new populations into the Roman state. This influx of new citizens swelled Rome's ranks, providing a seemingly inexhaustible supply of manpower for its ever-expanding military machine. By 264 BCE, Rome had effectively unified the Italian peninsula under its control, emerging as the dominant power in the region. With its Italian base secure, Rome was now poised to project its power beyond the peninsula and embark on even greater ambitions in the Mediterranean world. Rome's next challenge was Carthage, a maritime superpower controlling trade across the western Mediterranean. 3 Punic Wars, fought between 264 and 146 BCE, would decide the fate of the region. Rome built a navy from scratch, innovating with the corvus to turn sea battles into infantry fights. After decades of struggle, Rome seized Sicily and became a naval power. The Second Punic War brought Hannibal's legendary march over the Alps and crushing Roman defeats. Yet, Rome endured, adapting its tactics and eventually defeating Hannibal at Zama. Carthage was reduced to a client state, stripped of its empire and navy. Rome emerged as the unrivaled master of the Mediterranean. The Republic's victories brought wealth, provinces, and new challenges at home. Rome's conquest brought wealth and deep social divides. The senatorial elite grew richer, while small farmers lost land and flocked to the city, fueling unrest. Reformers like the Gracchi were killed. Generals like Marius built armies loyal to themselves, not the state. Civil wars erupted as ambitious men vied for power. Julius Caesar, a brilliant general and politician, conquered Gaul and won the loyalty of his legions. Ordered to disband his army, Caesar instead crossed the Rubicon, igniting civil war. He defeated Pompey and became dictator for life, enacting reforms but alarming the Senate. In 44 BCE, Caesar was assassinated by conspirators hoping to save the Republic. Instead, his death plunged Rome into further chaos. Caesar's murder led to years of civil war. His heir Octavian and Mark Antony defeated the assassins, then turned on each other. Octavian's victory at Actium made him sole ruler. In 27 BCE, he became Augustus, first citizen, cleverly preserving the facade of the Republic. Real power was his. He controlled the army, treasury, and provinces. Augustus ushered in the Pax Romana, an era of peace and prosperity. He reformed government, built monuments, and left Rome a city of marble. The Republic was gone, the Roman Empire had begun. Augustus's system endured, bringing 2 centuries of relative peace, the Pax Romana. Trade, cities, and cultures flourished under a unified government and vast network of roads. The 5 good emperors ruled wisely, expanding and securing the empire's borders. Public works, temples, aqueducts, theaters, transformed cities across the empire. Roman culture blended Greek and local traditions. Latin and Greek dominated law and learning. Engineering marvels like the Colosseum and Pantheon showcased Roman ingenuity. Roman law and citizenship offered stability and opportunity, even for former slaves. The empire was a melting pot of religions, including the rise of Christianity. Despite early persecution, Christianity spread rapidly, finding converts across the empire. Rome's cultural legacy would echo long after its political power faded. The Pax Romana ended with Marcus Aurelius' chaos followed. Civil wars, invasions, economic collapse, and plague nearly shattered the empire. Diocletian split the empire in 2, and Constantine founded Constantinople, shifting power east. Constantine's conversion made Christianity the empire's favored faith. The West, poorer and more vulnerable, faced relentless pressure from Germanic tribes. Rome was sacked in 410 CE, the Western Empire grew weaker. In 476 CE, the last Western emperor was deposed by a barbarian chieftain. The Western Roman Empire had fallen, but the East, Byzantium, endured. Rome's collapse marked the end of an era but not of its influence. the world it shaped would never be the same. Rome's fall was not the end. Its legacy shaped Europe and the world. The Byzantine Empire preserved Roman law and culture for centuries. In the West, the Church and new kingdoms carried on Roman traditions. Roman law and language and architecture became the foundation of Western civilization. The Renaissance revived classical ideals, inspiring art, science, and politics. Modern governments, including the United States, drew on Roman republican models. Today, Rome's ruins and ideas remain woven into our lives. The story of Rome is the story of our own origins. Its lessons, triumphs, and warnings endure.